This is one of the sheep hearts that we have. This is the interior view of the sheep heart. And if you look in here, you see the interior sulcus in here that separates the right ventricle. That's the right ventricle. That's the left ventricle. And so you notice that most of the heart is actually made up of the muscular portion of the ventricles. And this in here is the left atrium. So you notice it looks a little bit different from the way it looks on the models. And this one in here on the other side, that's the right atrium. So the atria don't have much muscles in them, remember, because they receive the blood. And the ventricles have a lot more muscles because they pump the blood. Some of the blood vessels that you can see is this one in here is actually the pulmonary trunk. And so this is the blood vessel that's going to take basically the blood to the lungs. So the two branches, the pulmonary arteries, are not really shown on the sheep heart in here. The one right behind it here, that's the largest blood vessel we have in our body. That's actually the aorta. This is the one that's going to supply the blood to all parts of the body. So these are some of the obvious structures that you can see on the exterior portion of the heart. Then what I'm going to do next is try to make what they call frontal section. So in other words, I'm going to cut the heart to give me two sections. One is front of the heart, one is the dorsal portion of the heart. And when you make that cut, you can use the scalpel, but be very careful you don't cut yourself. And you should be able, after you make the frontal section, you should be able to open the heart like you're opening a book. So this is the interior of the heart. You can see the two. Oh, excuse me. You can see the two ventricle. This is the large ventricle on the left side of the heart. This is the small ventricle on the right side of the heart. You can see the valves. Let me clear this a little bit here. So this is the valve on the left side of the heart. So this is your mitral valve or bicuspid valve. And this one in here is the tricuspid valve, the one on the right side of the heart. These are the chordae tendinae, the cords that connect the valves to the papillary muscle. This actually looks pretty good. You can see the papillary muscles very clearly, and you can see how the cords are attached to the papillary muscles. The other thing that you should be able to notice on the sheep heart is the thickness of the myocardium. This is the myocardium layer in the wall of the left ventricle compared to the right ventricle. And remember, the reason for that is because the left ventricle pumps the blood to all parts of the body. So you need a stronger pump, and that's why there is more muscles in the wall of the left ventricle. And you can see the section of the blood vessels I showed you, the pulmonary trunk and the aorta. So that's the sheep heart.